So it has been exactly 1 month since I've been using the M4 Pro powered MacBook Pro, and I've been getting a lot of questions online and offline regarding the new MacBook. So here I am in this video answering the top 5 questions that you guys have been asking. Let's go. What's up guys, Jason Smashpop here. So before we go to the top 5 questions, okay, I just want to clear the specs first so you know what I'm using. This is actually a MacBook Pro powered by M4 Pro chip and has 48GB of unified storage. So now that we know the specs, it's time to answer the very first question. So the very first question that everyone has been asking me, Nano texture display, how does it perform and should you get it, okay? So I just want to tell you first, before you get the MacBook Pro, you actually have the option to get the standard display or the Nano texture display, okay? And the Nano texture display is basically to reduce glare, also reflection when you're in bright places. So as you can see now on the screen, I'm actually showing you side by side, okay, between the 16-inch one that I have that has a nano texture display and also the 14-inch that has a standard display. So as you can see, it does reflect a lot on the 14-inch and it does not reflect a lot on the 16-inch, but in fact, it actually disperses the light so you can still see what's on the screen when there are bright things in front, you know. So another example is I turn off the lights and then now you can see there's a bright point of light from my iPhone and I'm moving it from the left to right. So both can also still reflect, but it is not so sharp and not so obvious on a nano texture display, which I feel is okay, because if you put it on the standard display, you will actually not be able to see what's on the screen. Then when it comes to a myth, okay, when it comes to matte display, is that the contrast and also the sharpness is definitely lower compared to a glossy standard screen. Is it true or not? Well, from my experience, I actually don't see very big differences. As you can see on the screen now, I'm putting side by side. One is nano texture display and the other one is standard display. You might actually not see any difference at all, including the contrast. So at full brightness, I don't notice much of a color change and also a degradation of the sharpness. Hence, I feel the nano texture display made by Apple is really good and really top notch. Now when it comes to brightness, I also want to say that the screen is actually very good, okay? It goes up to 1600 nits peak brightness for HDR content and also 1000 nits for SDR content. Second top question of all, how does the M4 perform? Now as you know, this is an M4 Pro chip, okay, and I actually compared the video editing on Final Cut and also DaVinci with the M4 and also the M3 machines. I do realize that the improvement is not a lot when you compare it to an M3, but it's almost 30% when you compare it back to like an M2 machine. So I would say that the jump of improvement is not a lot unless you are actually using M1 or even an Intel machine. Then you will see a big jump when it comes to performance. But other than that, editing photos on Photoshop, on Lightroom, everything works very well. Everything that I do on the controls, it reflects instantly on the screen, so I guess there's no lagging. And you know, watching movies, playing games, oh yeah, playing games is really fun playing on this nano texture display also, because the big 16-inch really allows me to see a lot more. And recently, I've also started playing a lot of games by pairing the MacBook Pro with the PlayStation controller. And I feel that it's more enjoyable. Gaming is actually more fun with this combination. Okay, third question is about Apple Intelligence, okay? People are asking me like, how's the Apple Intelligence? Is it as good as on the iPhone? What can you do on the MacBook, you know? So basically, I would like to say that whatever that you can do on the iPhone or the iPad, you can also do it on the Mac. So for example, image playground, right? If you want to create your own visuals, you actually have a bigger image playground than on the iPhone because now you get to go full screen. And of course, to create your own visuals, you put in your keywords, you insert the parameters, and you'll definitely get whatever visuals that you want, just like on the iPhone and also on the iPad. Speed-wise, it's a little bit faster than generating visuals on the iPhone, based on my experience. Because sometimes the iPhone, right, once you get one visual, for the next option to come out, you probably need to wait a little bit longer. But on the Mac, you can instantly just swipe from option 1, option 2, option 3, and in the end, you'll get the visuals that you want. Other than that, writing tools also work flawlessly. Like for example, if what I'm doing now is like an essay, you know, or like a passage of text, I can quickly just turn it into point form or rewrite it without any lagging. The most that you need to wait is probably like 1 second, which is also depending on your Wi-Fi connection. So I would say AI works flawlessly on a Mac and maybe a little bit faster than on the iPhone and also on the iPad. Now, when it comes to asking questions, a lot of people also ask me, hey Jason, should I get the 14-inch or the 16-inch? I have always been jumping around between 16 and 14 because at one point I want the really big screen for all my work whenever I'm outside. But every time I'm using the 16-inch, I'm actually hoping that I have a 14-inch because it is a lot lighter and it's also a lot easier to carry around. So as you can see here, this is the 16-inch and this is the 14-inch, okay? Now, the screen comparison, it's actually quite significant if you really like to see details and if you want to see more timeline on your, say, Final Cut and stuff, right? But I would say it all comes down to the weight. Because when it comes to the MacBook, you tend to want to carry it around outside of the house, right? So the weight is actually very important. To me, I have fully convinced myself that I can live with the 14-inch, which is smaller because it is a lot lighter and also more portable. So this is actually about 1.6 kg and the 16-inch is actually about 2.1 to 2.2 kg. So there is a very big change in the size, especially if you want to carry it in a tote bag or even like a backpack. So I would say stick to the 14 because the M4 Pro and also whatever M4 chips now, they are all very powerful. So you don't need the 16-inch to get the strong, you know, M4. Just get the M4 for the 14-inch and you will be very, very happy. But then again, if you like big things. Okay, last question. People have been asking me, should they upgrade to the new M4 powered MacBook Pro? Which is this, right? I would say that if you are currently using a MacBook Pro with Apple Silicon chips, so for example M1, M2, M3, the reason to upgrade might not be very big because as long as you're using Apple Silicon chip on the MacBook, you can already use Apple Intelligence, right? So that's out of the way. Performance-wise, yes, there is a jump if you upgrade, but if you're using M2 or M3, the jump for performance might not be very big. So I would say if you are using an M1 chip powered MacBook Pro, then yes, you can. If you're using M2 or M3, if you have extra money, then why not? But if you're using an Intel powered MacBook Pro, I would say please upgrade because it is like 10,000 leap faster than your current MacBook or your current laptop that you're using Intel device, okay? So yeah, if you're using Intel, confirm must upgrade. If you're using M1, can upgrade. If you're using M2 or M3, if you got money, you can upgrade. Okay, so yeah, so I would say like that lah. If you want to buy, don't buy, also can, okay? Okay, so I would like to wrap up this top 5 questions about the M4 MacBook Pro with some of my thoughts and experience using this device, okay? So I would say that performance-wise, it is crazy good. Battery-wise, it's also crazy good because I can actually use this for almost 2 days without even charging. Like if I use it from morning until evening, I can use it for 2 days. But if I'm only casually using it a few times a day, like for example, if I just want to use it to just do some work, answer an email, and then I close. And then when I go home, you know, I also use it to edit some pictures to post on Instagram, and then I close. I can actually use the M4 powered MacBook Pro to about 4 days. Really, okay? But of course, intensive use, maximum about 2 days. It is very heavy to use the 16-inch. 14-inch is still the best, okay? So if you love videos like this, please subscribe, okay, because I love sharing my honest opinion about latest gadgets and devices that I'm using. Share this video with your friends or whoever who wants to buy a new MacBook or new MacBook Pro. And also follow me on all social platforms. My name is smashpop and I'll see you in the next video. Yo!